further our efforts around the globe, now focusing on how we can, as a country, balance our gas and renewables pathways in Nigeria's energy transition strategy. So I want to thank you all for being here, distinguished guests from NLNG, NIAF, NATI, our comrades, and our partners from Budget, Policy Alerts, and all other partners. Thank you so much for being here. We also have our state representative from Akwa Ibom. Thank you so much for being here as well. And also thanks to our partner, Afrital, that has been devoted and committed to this effort along with us. So why are we here, and why is this an important topic that we want to explore? Where last week, the world was, front and center in Baku, negotiating for climate change and moving things forward. But the question and the conversation on ground is not as robust in some of these countries. We find that there are some conflicts, complementarities in terms of how we're moving, in terms of the gas and the renewables institutions. But also there's a lot of questions in terms of collaboration, policy coherence, vision, and the realities that we are actually putting forward to make sure that our goals around plans like the long-term vision 2050, energy transition plan 2060, decade of gas 2021 to 2030 are all complementary and can actually help Nigeria to achieve its goal of a net carbon emission by 2060. We recognize that just this year, the government had put out the Decade of Gas plan. This is 4 years into its Decade of Gas, and 4 years again after launching its energy transition plan. So the question is, how are these policy instruments, project commitments to transition Nigeria speaking to each other? Are they speaking to each other? Are we aware and understanding of the complexities, the trade-offs around how we want to achieve our transition? Is there collaboration amongst the different institutions that are working to move this forward? Is there an awareness of the way in which these will impact those human beings and people on ground who are meant to transition are also affected by the emissions that are generated or otherwise? We recognize that if Nigeria fails to explore, discuss, and agree on how to treat gas and renewables in an integrated way over time, the credibility of Nigeria's energy transition plans might be called into question. The energy sector may not fully realize the objectives around energy access, which are front and center for those who actually live in Nigeria. We believe that the government should make policies and make public investments that favor the long-term strategies that have been put at the public fore. Regardless of whether the better option is gas or renewables, it is important that Nigeria should provide a coherent policy where every partner, every investor, every private sector, every institution, every person knows how to key into that plan. But within the existing plans, there are critical questions that we need to ask. Is the vision clear? Is it integrated? Does it address the key concerns that we have as we've been rolling out and implementing these plans? How will Nigeria's limited capital and human resources be deployed to support our overall ambitions? How are we navigating the trade-offs? How will those be addressed? Integration, we believe, will allow for greater alignment across all the stakeholders and across all our complete energy vision. We believe that this effort today provides a space for us to have a conversation now that we are in quote unquote the earlier days of the implementation of the transition plan. so that we do not find ourselves in year 2055 asking how we got here, asking what we should have done better. But instead, this allows us to take a more proactive step, a future-looking step, to make sure that we are all aligned and we are all able to achieve a vision where ultimately our energy needs are addressed and attained, and we can all count ourselves satisfied at the end of the day. We're hoping that through this conversation, we're going to come up with some recommendations and some ideas that are concrete and honest and realistic, that can enable us to achieve our goals for Nigeria and for our future. With that, I'd like to thank you all for being here, and we hope that you'll be able to contribute and have a very productive deliberation as we move forward with the agenda today. This is a collective goal of ours. It is to help Nigeria attain its future without making anyone responsible for where we are now. It's just to have a collective vision so that we can attain our goals. So it's one Nigeria and it's one vision, we hope, that can get us to where we need to go. With that, I want to thank you all for listening, and I hope that we're able to be relaxed and engaging, and feel free to share your ideas because that is what we are here for. So thank you all so much.